just came out to do some quick pieces to camera to let you know our progress. And we can't even stand outside because it's raining again. Oh, it's driving us insane. But anyway, the barn's coming along, the roof's coming along. You can see the progress, you can see the roof. So there is a little bit of shelter. Anyhow, I'm going to show you the kitchen indoors. And welcome to Notes from Le Chassaing. You can see that we've been working on the kitchen. We've got plastered ceilings, we've got the lights back up. There is progress. There's been more progress indoors because it's been absolutely chucking it down. So we'll show you outside and where we're up to. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Enjoy the videos and we'll see you next week. Oh, just to remember, next week I'm back in the UK. I'm visiting a few family members. I've got a quarantine over there, so it's not going to be an exciting video. So Simon's going to do a few pieces and we'll try and get you a little bit of progress and let you know how it's going. Anyway, have a great week. See you next time. So this is the weekly shot that I like to take of the house so that we can see the progress that we're making and see the garden coming along.
So we've got some really nice dry weather now, so more progress on the roof. On the back here, I've got the last rafter up yesterday that I need to get up, and now I'm going to put some little blocks of wood between the rafters at the bottom to just seal it, so when the board goes on that will screw down to it and it will seal it, and then I'll put the boards on all the way up. That was a good start. First one was a bit too long. We just shaved off a little bit off that corner, it was just hitting the stone. There's a bit of stone poking out. Hopefully it'll fit now. Good, so that's got those blocks in, those kind of noggins that sit between the rafters, and now we're ready to get the OSB boards on. We've painted the underside white so it'll be a bit lighter inside the barn. So yeah, I was going to bring them round and we can get them put on the roof. So that's got the boards brought round. The next job, I've just got to cut, because they're going on the end up against the house, I've just got to cut like about 1 inch off the end of them because they've got a tongue and groove all the way around, so we want to just get rid of the groove on that end. So we've just got a flat bit of board that will push up against the wall. So I just go slice them off and then we can start fitting them. Okay, so that's got the first 2 boards on, which you saw I did off the scaffold. That's easy enough. Then to get up the roof, I just put kind of crawler board, well, don't know, rafter offcuts, so they're just lumps of wood that you'll see I'll just screw into the boards, and then it makes it very easy to just walk up the roof. And that's one of the advantages of doing these boards, you know, putting this underboard. I think they call it undersarking. But one good thing is it means that you can easily go up and down the roof, and you can attach the felt, you can go up and down to do the slating later, and that to me feels a lot better and a lot safer than just crawling around on rafters and rafter ladders. So yeah, so I've got to just drill some holes in these rafters. I've got a block of wood that I use to space the rafters, so I use that to space the holes. I know then the screws go into the rafter. Yeah, dead easy, so I'll show you. Okay, so that's got the boards on both sides of the roof, which is very good. Very pleased with that. It's gone quite well, and the top, just showed you that ridge beam, that's all joined up quite nicely, so yeah, that's good. And the next job now is to get the breathable membrane, which comes in a whopping great roll. I think is 1.5 meters wide, so I need to put it on 2 or 3 of them to get over this, and that'll cover that, and then it'll be waterproof. So we'll staple that down, and then we're going to order some battens. We're going to go to the builder's merchant, order some battens tomorrow, I think, and then we can start getting the next section up, and then we can get it battened out, so which will hold the membrane on really securely. So yeah, it's lovely and warm today. Yeah, so I'll crack on with getting this membrane on next. I've cut a 10 metre length off the roll of membrane, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it into the middle, and then I can kind of staple it to the ridge and then gradually roll it out, and then as I roll it out I can remove the bits of wood I've got there that I've been using as steps. So anyway, it'll become, hopefully it's obvious, but you'll see what I mean as I do it. So first job we'll do is roll it into the middle, and then just get some clips on it, and then get it up on the roof, staple it on. Then I'll need to do, I think, maybe 3 to get this bit done. Anyway, we'll see how we get on. We've also got a short update on the bees this week, so we can. They're doing, given the conditions, I think they're doing incredibly well. So you'll see what we're doing with them. So it's a nice sunny day, and we can see lots of activity here. Lots of bees out and about as well in the garden, on the clover and on the blackberries, the brambles around here. They're all in flower, and there's loads of bees around. So we're having a good day today, out foraging. And last time I looked in the hive, it was about 10 days ago. Just looked in the top, and it seemed to be fairly full. So I've gone out and bought a new top box to put on, to give them some space to store some more honey. And I want to have a quick look. I'll just pull a couple of frames out the top and have a look down and make sure, they're looking good. I mean, I don't really go in for inspections. I know there's nothing wrong with them, because a lot of people do it. It's the kind of recognised way of doing beekeeping, but for me it's not. I don't really want to pull the nest apart all the time. I'd rather kind of keep a good eye on what's going on at the entrance, and try and just look in the top and get an idea of what's going on. And if they do well, they do well. If they don't, they don't. Seems from what I've read that almost whatever you do, bees will sometimes do well and sometimes not. So but they definitely looked like they needed some more space, so we'll give them a bit more space. And at the same time I've put a little top entrance. It should be pretty warm now for the next 6, 7, 8 weeks, so it won't hurt them to have a little bit of through ventilation going in the bottom and out the top, and it'll just give them a bit more space to get in and out. I don't really want to open up the bottom entrance and disturb them. They've kind of properlised it all. So, it's all a learning curve. I've, essentially no idea what I'm doing other than, I don't know, a fair amount of reading, but you've got to try what you think is best and see how you get on. So, We did see a big swarm the other day coming over these woods, and I don't think it was our bees. I'm hoping it wasn't. Seems unlikely. I haven't seen a load of drones, which supposedly you'll see a lot more drones before they swarm. I haven't been in all that long. We've been in about 8 weeks now from a 5-frame nuke, and they've got 10 frames in the deep and 9 frames in the top box there. So they're only just filling it out. So I'm hopeful it wasn't ours. If it was, again, we'll have to wait and see. In any case, we've got now a load of drawn comb. We'll have hopefully another box full of drawn comb and honey at the top. If it was a swarm, the worst case is the new virgin queen doesn't get mated. In 8 weeks' time, we'll find we've got no bees left, but we will at least have a box full of resources, which will give us a good start for next year. So hopefully it won't come to that, but as I say, we'll live and learn, see what happens. So I'm going to take the top off now, and I'll set the camera up so you can see what's going on, and hopefully get this new box on the top, and hopefully they'll be able to draw the wax out and fill it up with honey. We've still got a lot of nectar around here, so might as well give them the chance to store it. So hopefully you can see there's bees all over this. I'm just going to put a little, very light mist of water over them, and you'll see they'll go down into the box. As I've said it now, so they'll probably do the opposite. Yeah, so you can see they're just heading down into the box now, just to get out of the rain. And this frame here. This end one I just put in the other day, so I put in, I say the other day, a week, maybe a bit longer ago, so I'm interested to see whether they've got anywhere with drawing the wax out on that. I don't know how well you could see, they've made a start now, they're drawing the wax out along the top, and they'll draw that down. So we'll pull another one out that they've had a chance to have a go at and see how much they've stored. Look at that. But I could feel from the weight of that's pretty much full of honey. That was quite heavy. So I think these are all full, because they'll start in the middle and then they'll come out to the sides. So the only one they're still working on now is the one at the end there, that's only been in a few days. So I think it's worth giving them that bit more space. They've clearly got two full boxes there, so give them a bit more space. There's still a good flow on here, and give them an extra entrance as well, which will help them ventilate and dry off the honey. And I think, like I say, it's all, you never quite know with bees. I think even people who've got a lot of experience never quite know, but I certainly don't, but we'll give it a go. So I'll put this extra box on now, and that'll give them some room to work, and then we'll come back in maybe 2 weeks and see how they're getting on with that. Right, we'll put these guys back on. They'll be a bit confused. A minute ago they were on completed comb, now they've got an empty box to work on. So there we are, all done. I'll just show you this extra entrance I've put on, and I'll open that up a crack for them. So hopefully you can see there, in fact the bee's just wandering around it. Well, I put an extra entrance in at the top there. I've just half opened it at the moment, and that piece of wood I can just adjust. When it gets really warm I can come and open it right out, or if I see that they're really pouring through it, I can open it up, give them a bit more space, and then later in the year, mid-September or whatever, I might, if I've still got that box on, I can close that up. And I'm actually thinking I will leave that box on because it gives a good space to put a feeder in for the winter, so I can easily just close that up. So you can see it's fairly busy there. A lot of bees coming and going, a few drones. I don't know if you can pick it up off of this, but there's a few the bigger ones are the drones. So there's a few of them coming and going. Probably a good day for mating flights. It's quite still. It's been warm and sunny pretty much all day, so I would imagine it would be as good a day as any that we've had actually for a long time. If there's virgin queens looking to get mated. It's a warm day for the beekeeping jacket and the hat and the veil, but I wouldn't fancy having a go without it. I know there are a lot of people that are very confident and experienced and happy to not wear gloves, and even not wear some of them not even wear anything over their face, but I wouldn't fancy that myself. I think you probably saw when I just tapped that frame, you immediately get a couple of dozen or so bees fly straight up at you. Understandably, you've just shaken up their home and they're irritated, so they fly up at you. And if I didn't have the kind of cover over my face and that, I think it would be very difficult to remain calm. And I think if you don't remain calm, you're liable to wind the bees up, and it ends up being a bit of a vicious circle. Plus the fact they bounce off of the veil. They can't really sting it, and if they did try to sting it, it wouldn't pull their sting out probably. So it means that A, I'm not getting stung, and B, they're not losing their life trying to sting me. So hopefully it's a win-win.
We're in the barn under a roof, so we do have a little bit of shelter. It's absolutely chucking it down and has been for 3 days, so we can't get back on the roof at the moment. It feels cool. I've got a scarf on in July.
Middle of July. It's cold.
Crazy. But anyway, we're making the most of it, getting on with the kitchen and the indoors, so I'll show you a bit of an update on that. Bert's now barking.
Yeah, but he likes to join in.
Yeah, he always likes to join in. So yeah, we're progressing well. We've got some new scaffold boards, you can just see behind us.
Yeah, that'll enable me to have scaffold all along the front. So hopefully that'll speed things up, which we'll need it to do, because as soon as we get dry weather, we've got to get on the roof. It just doesn't look like being a lot of dry this year.
That's a Tyvek at the front, and it's a very wet day, so we just thought we'd take you outside to have a quick look. With all the rain, the driveway's greening up now, but it does need a little bit more soil. You can see where it's sunk down, but that's good. It's actually been useful, the rain. We've also taken away from the side of the barn, there was a load of wood there, so that's been cleared away. Whoop. There's a concrete render on this side of the barn that's got to be chipped off and repointed. And here we've got a few trees to pull out, but the drive's looking a little bit better. We're just going to redo this wall and pull out all of this earth, and then we can make a better, flatter driveway for the mighty Fiat. So here's the progress on the cobbling. It's been very rainy and a lot of the earth sort of washing it in, and that's actually quite useful. Here is Simon's dad's old Jetmaster. This used to be in his mum and dad's farmhouse lounge, so it's brilliant to be able to be reusing this. We'll get that plumbed in here with the chimney going up, and then we aim to have a bit of a shelter where we can sit in the winter evenings and have a fire on and be outside but inside, so that's really exciting. So you can sort of get an idea of how the patio is going to look